师傅啊，师傅！
This one should be fun, Meat. I'm interested to get your perspective on the Monkey King, Jordan Leavitt, as he takes on Victor Martinez. Not to be confused with Jimmy the Brick Flick, but Victor the Brick Martinez, who is making his debut and is riding a nice win streak, right? This guy has won 7 straight fights and picked up wins against Jose Cabral and Jacob Rosales most recently. And I'm curious to see if those recent wins will translate into success against Jordan Leavitt, who the Monkey King we know like isn't a guy who has the sexiest skill set, right? We know what he's trying to do. He's trying to take you down. When he gets you down there, he's very successful at keeping you there and works to finish fights. I mean, I always just think back to that inverted triangle submission that he got against Matt Sales, which is something you don't see often. And then even before that, when he just KO slammed Matt Wyman, he picked him up, took him to his corner, slammed him on the ground, and the dude was KO slept. So we know that he is pretty dangerous. He just leaves a lot to be desired in the striking department for sure. And when it comes to Victor the Brick Martinez, we know this guy is trying to throw hands, right? He throws with a lot of power. He's definitely going to have the striking advantage against the Monkey King. It's just going to be about, can Jordan Leavitt get this fight to the mat? And if he does, will Victor Martinez be able to survive? Because this is a guy who does have some submission losses on his record. So what are your thoughts on this one? Do you think Victor Martinez surprises a lot of people and cashes at a pick'em in this fight? Or is this the win that Monkey King needs after just getting smoked by Patty? Who are you taking?
Honestly, Monkey King, I'm a big fan. He's a funny, goofy dude. He's definitely a weirdo, as Patty would say, but he's got skill. I mean, he's been showing in the UFC, but honestly, the last 2 losses he's had, Claudio Puelles and Patty the Batty, they just aren't aging well for me. And that for that reason, I just don't think I'm gonna go with the Monkey King. And you know, I always go with the Monkey King. I gotta take this new guy. He's on a great fight win streak. And I'm banking off he's better than Patty and he's better than Claudia Puelles. I mean, it just seeing Claudia Puelles' last performance for Stan Hooker, and I go, whoa, so how good is the Monkey King? You know? And then we all know kind of how good Patty the Batty is, I would say. So it's like then he loses to Patty, and it's like and he got mauled by him, and it's like okay, well I'm gonna take Brick because I think Brick's the real deal, the hype train, and he's the underdog, and I like these odds.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. And we after watching Levitt versus Patty, I think you and I both thought that that fight would be a little bit closer than what it was, and we were kind of surprised that Patty was able to just sort of walk through him seemingly with ease. Because prior to that contest, Jordan Levitt was looking like a very skilled fighter. So I think we were both a little shocked with how that one materialized. And then you touched on the Claudio Puelles versus Dan Hooker fight, which I think was just like a good levels test reminder to really showcase how much better the top 10 guys are than the rest of the division, because Claudio Puelles against a lot of guys looked like an absolute world beater, and then Dan Hooker, of all people, slumps into the octagon and absolutely makes easy work of him. So you make a good point, like how decent of a loss was that for Levitt for sure, because at the time we sort of wrote that off as, oh, it's not a bad loss at all. Claudio Puelles is a very skilled guy, but now we're sort of walking that back perhaps. So in this one, though, I'm interested to look at Tapology, where 81% is rolling with the Monkey King. Majority is copper for that sub. There's also a lot of beige for the decision, and only 19% is rolling with the Brick Martinez. Do you think that the Brick is able to get a finish in this one, or do you envision, if he does win this fight, that he picks up a decision similar to how Claudio did against the Monkey King?
If Patty the Batty could finish the Monkey King, I would imagine Mr. Brick could. So I could totally see that, but I don't know. I think both these guys they're good survivors, so I think this should go the distance. To be honest, if there is going to be a finish, probably submission by Jordan Levitt. I think it's to be a decision win by the new guy. It really all depends, because let's be honest, Jordan Levitt, his wrestling's pretty darn good. Like as we've seen, even though he loses to whoever, but you watch him and you go, he knows what he's doing. But maybe he doesn't have the strength, or maybe he's just slightly had a bad day, or whatever it is. So if it goes to the ground, I would imagine he gets that finished. possibly really easily. But I think Victor Martinez is going for that knockout, going for the decision, keep it on the feet, and outpace and outstrike him.
Yeah, I'm pretty torn on this one myself. I do see a world where the Brick is able to outstrike Jordan Leavitt. I just wonder if he's able to keep this fight on the feet for long enough and across 15 minutes. So in this one, I'm going to reluctantly roll with the Monkey King. I think he gets a decision victory in this one. I just think that the size might play into it because Victor Martinez, when he steps on the scale, to me, he looks more like a featherweight as opposed to a lightweight. And I think that the strength is going to be noticeable against these UFC lightweights, where it's going to be like a quick reminder to the Brick that he should probably make that cut down to 45, and maybe we'll have a lot of success there. But at 55, I just see him as a Kevin Lee type tweener where he's not going to have the strength required to compete with Jordan Leavitt. And for that reason, I'm going to take the Monkey King. I'm going to take him by decision, but maybe he does pull up a late submission if the Brick is too tired from all the grappling exchanges and just heavy top pressure that Monkey King offers his opponents. So I'm again reluctantly taking Leavitt, but I don't blame you at all for taking the Brick because that dude can absolutely crack for sure. Any last thoughts?
No, it's been a fun fight. Let in the comments. You taking Brick or Monkey King?